And now, it's time for another Dice Tower review with Ryan Metzler.
Hey everyone, it's Ryan Metzler here again, and today we're going to take a look at Making Profit, the board game, which is a pretty basic stock game in which players will run a factory, buy stocks in other people's factories, and overall just try and make the most money in the shortest period of time. Real quick, we'll take a look at what you get inside the box for this game and how the game plays, and then we'll come back here and get my final thoughts on it as a whole. So here you can see the components for Making Profit, the board game. This is going to be a pretty simple stock management game. Each player is going to be running a factory, and they're going to have a factory token in their color. So this is the yellow factory. So maybe we have the yellow player here. At the beginning of the game, they're going to get 2 stocks in their color. So you'll see they'll have these 2 stocks here in yellow, and each player likewise will have their own factory and their own 2 stocks. Any colors that aren't being used in the game will be removed from the game and just simply won't be available for purchase. In addition, each player is going to get 2 of these cards that are called development cards. And these cards are things that you can use in order to make your factory better. You'll see this one here says that when you play it out to your factory will get +2 money each time it's run. And this is money that's going to be earned by the stockholders for each stock that they hold. So, for example, if I were to run my own factory and I had this out, I would get 2 money per share. I have 2 shares, I'd get 4 money. This one here is going to give you more cards, and this goes only to the person who runs the factory. So you'll see if I play this one out, it generates +1 card, and essentially I can put this card out. When I run my factory, I'll get to draw more of these cards for future turns. So what's going to happen is each player starts as such, and they're going to have a hand of these 2 cards here. But what's going to happen is on a player's turn, they're going to take some actions. They have a list of actions they can take, and they're going to take 2 actions on their turns. This ranges from buying stock to selling stock to upgrading your factory, running your factory, or selling your resource cards that you have in your hand. So when it comes to a player's turn, they can do any of these 2 actions. They can even repeat the same action twice. If you decide to buy stock, you're going to be paying the development cost of a stock. So each stock starts at level 0. But as you add these development cards to it, the level will go up. If I have 1 card added, it'll be level 1. If I have 2 cards, it'll be level 2. And if I have 8 cards, it's level 8. But essentially, in order to buy someone's stock, you're going to pay a minimum of $2 to the bank in order to buy their stock. And if it's over level 3, you're going to pay more money. So let's say that green had a level 3 stock that I wanted to buy. I would have some money maybe on my turn. I'd pay 3 of it back and buy a green stock. When I do so, that'll get added to my portfolio, and green will get to draw 1 of these cards for me having bought their stock and add it to their hand. Now, you don't start the game with any money, so you're not going to be doing that right away. You can also sell stocks. When you sell stocks, you're going to sell a stock of any color, and you're going to get its current development level in terms of money. So if I had that green stock and green was level 3, I'd sell it back, and I would get 3 money. Again, you're probably not going to want to sell your stocks right at the beginning of the game, but if this happens, whoever owns that factory must then discard a card from their hand. If they don't have any cards in their hand, they have to discard 1 of the levels of their stock. So their actual stock value will decrease if they don't have cards in hand at that time. The third thing you can do is run your factory. Now, at the beginning of the game, since you have no developments in your factory, there's no point in running. But once you get these developments, as I said earlier, you'll have them out. Let's say I have these. I have a level 2 factory, and I would run it. And for each share I have, I'm going to get 2 money. And everyone else who owns shares in my factory will get 2 money per share they own. So I'm going to get 4 money for running this, and I will draw 1 card, adding it to my development card hand. So that's how you generate money. So in this case, I would get 4 money if I were to run my factory. Again, you can do a thing called selling resources. So as you get these cards in hand, and you'll get more and more of these cards as you increase the levels of your factory and run them, sometimes you'll draw even like 5 cards, you can trade 3 cards in from your hand in order to get $10. Now, this is a way to basically trade in resources that you've generated and make money without giving money to anybody else, because you're not running your factory and paying out to all of the stockholders. So as I said, on your turn, you're going to take 2 of these actions, either buying or selling stocks. You can develop your factory or run your factory, or you can sell your resources that you've made in order to try and make money. You're going to keep doing this until one of 2 things happens. Either one player is going to develop their factory all the way to level 10, meaning that they've got 10 of these development cards out by their factory, and that will trigger the end of the game with 1 more round happening around the table. Or what's going to happen is that no one develops their factory for a full round of the game, meaning no one makes an improvement to their factory. So in order to keep the game going, you have to continually improve your factories, or else it will end early. At this point, once either one of these two things happens, there's one more round of the game in order for you to make money, and then you're going to count up your total money, which is going to be however much money you have actual and physical chips here, plus the value of each of your stocks that you own. And the stock value is going to be its development level. So if this was level 5, because it has 5 cards next to it, it's going to be 5 per each one of these shares, which gets me $10 more. I'd also get money for each other person's value of stock. So if I owned a green and their level was 8, I'd get $8 more. And whoever has the most money combined between the total value of their leftover money and the value of their owned shares is going to be the winner. Well, there you have it. That is Making Profit the board game. As I said, pretty generic stock game. Now, it comes with a small amount of components, which is good. The components are not of the greatest quality, but that may just be a first print run type of thing. I'm not really going to docket points in terms of components because they are perfectly functional. The game is, as I said, very simple. You're going to be operating that factory. You really only have 5 action choices, and taking those choices is oftentimes relatively obvious. The best thing to do is to trade in cards in order to prevent people from getting money from your factory. But if people own far fewer shares than you, maybe you generate enough money more than them that it's worthwhile running your factory. It's pretty straightforward. If you have played the stock game before, it's going to all seem very similar to you, and may even seem like it's a little bit less than most of the stock games out there. And that's kind of what I'd have to say. It's not really my thing. It's kind of a more generic game. It makes me feel like I'm playing part of an 18xx stock-related game without the trains and some of the more intricate details. So if you're looking for a very light stock game, a stock game that's pretty portable and can get played in a very short period of time, you should definitely check out Making Profit the board game. As I said, not a title for me, and not a very deep title, but one that may scratch the stock portfolio type of game for players who aren't interested in something with as many rules as something like an 18xx title.
Thanks for watching our review today. For more information about board games, as well as the #1 board game audio podcast, check out Dicetower.com for reviews, interviews, and more. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.